Welcome back to another review. This time I have the Olight Baton Pro light in for testing, and this was sent in via Ruyu / Bantac. They're an Olight dealer and they send items in to me to test and review. Remember, this is a review, so I'll give you my own opinions and thoughts on the product. First thing you'll notice is there is a difference in the power output. It's increased up to 2000 lumens. They've also gone with a slightly larger battery. And all of your accessories are under the cardboard flap. There's just a warning on there to let you know about the battery charging and to remove the tab. So included in the pack with this, you get the felt bag with drawstrings at the top. I think it's okay myself because it gives you somewhere to hold the magnetic charger with the light. The Olight wrist strap, very standard and identical to the other ones that I've looked at. We also get the 1 amp rated magnetic charging cable. Now, I've tested this previously and tend to find that it doesn't get up to the full 1 amp, but it is a bit faster than the previous one. There's the user guide, which I'll put on screen later on. You also get a case included for a spare battery if you want to keep it in there. Onto the light itself, the first thing you'll notice is it looks very similar to the Baton 2, and indeed it is almost identical in terms of design, but there is a difference. It's slightly longer than the Baton 2 in every dimension, not a lot, but mainly in the length. It goes from about 100mm up to about 108mm on this. Still pretty small. You still have the double clip, and there's your magnetic base on the bottom with the charging port, same as the previous model, so not a lot has changed. You've got the same sort of grip style. They're calling it a sort of 3D grip. The only thing with that is it does tend to contact the clip a little bit if you are unscrewing the light. I'll keep on unscrewing this. To take the battery out, you'll see that there is a protective tab at the top. As the charging port is on the bottom, you'll see that the spring is on the top, so they've reversed it around so the terminals face downwards, both the positive and the negative. I've mentioned before about the custom batteries. I'm not a big fan of them, but in this case there is at least one upside, and that is that you can use other batteries with it. So this particular cell has been uprated due to the power output. It's now 3500 milliamp hour. I think the previous one was around 3200. The lumens has gone up from about 1150 to 2000. Not sure that's a big upgrade for me, because with this type of light, anything that's approaching 1000 lumens is going to be plenty of light for most people. Just like the other Olight lights, you get the battery level indicator. The side switch on this is more of a plasticky feel rather than the rubber or silicone on some of the lights, but it seems to be responsive enough. If you're going to use other batteries with this, you can. You'll need to use the special high drain ones because of that higher output. It will trip at the turbo setting on smaller capacity batteries, or you might be better off putting on a magnetic spacer and using the unprotected cells. You can get unprotected cells with a button top on them. I looked at some eFest ones a while ago now. I tested them and they're pretty good. Most of them do come in the flat tops, but that is an option if you wanted to get one specifically for this without the spacers. So have a look around on that. They work absolutely no problems at all with the magnetic spacer on this light, so at least you can use your other batteries with this if you need to. Though you'll only be able to charge the custom Olight battery in the torch. No information on the LED. This seems to be a recent Olight thing where they're not giving you any information on the type of LED that they're using. Onto the user interface, single press on and off, and the usual push and hold to cycle through the power levels. It does have a mode memory, but not for the turbo or the strobe. If you want to get into the turbo, all you need to do is a double press on the side switch, and then you can single press to power off or double press again to go back to the last power level. As with other Olight lights, we've a triple press to get to the strobe mode. Moonlight mode, push and hold for about 1 second, and if you keep holding for about 2 seconds, what that will do will engage the lockout, and you'll see the side switch light up red just to let you know that it is in the lockout mode. So all you need to do is just push in and hold again to unlock that. There is a timer function on this. I don't use it much myself, but you have a choice. Once it's on, just double press and hold, and you'll get a choice of 3 or 9 minutes on the timer. UI is pretty solid, fairly easy to pick up, and very much in line with other Olight lights that I've looked at. This is a user guide just to give you some more information. What I did note is the candela on this light is even lower than the previous version, so even though it has increased power, you're not really going to see real world much increase in range. As far as water resistance goes, no issues at all to report, and when I tested the magnet, I found that it's very strong on this light, even on smooth and slippery surfaces. If it's put on a surface with some texture, very solid grip on that too, and of course you can hang it down if you want to, sort of thing which I'd expect from a light like this because it is quite convenient to have that. Charging speeds on this about 850 milliamps, and the termination was fine around 4.18. Quick comparison with the Nightcore EC30. This is another compact EDC light, and it is a bit smaller than that, even though it is a bit larger than the previous version. Take a look at some of the beam shots now. We'll start with the Baton Pro at the high level. Yeah, that's at 600 lumens. You'll notice there's a bit of a jump when you take it up to the turbo mode, and that turbo mode's not going to last for that long at 2000 lumens because it's quite a small light and the heat does build up. Very wide, spread out beam pattern. Nightcore EC30 has a higher candela, so it has more range, even though it has slightly less power on paper, so you're going to get a good 100 meters or so extra range from the Nightcore than you would do over the Olight, but less spread on the outside. I'll run through some more beam shots now, come back at the end and give you some thoughts on this particular torch and how I feel about it. Comparing the Baton Pro to the previous version, the Baton 2, which I will link at the end of the video so you can have a look at that. Not a lot of big changes with this. You do have a higher output. You also get a higher capacity battery to cope with that higher output. On the flip side, the lower output though is a bit higher than I'd like, around 5 lumens. If they got that down to around about 1 lumen, I'd be happier with that. Aside from a few cosmetic changes, a slightly increased size and the circles they put on the head, not much difference in terms of the design. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's certainly not a bad light, just not that many changes in my opinion over the previous one, and of course as expected the price has also increased as well. Anyway, if you have any thoughts on this, do let me know in the comments section, and thanks for watching the video.